Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for coming to this Tuesday, July 16th regular monthly meeting of the McLean County Board. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order, and please rise for the invocation by Member Solner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 50 years ago today, 3 astronauts and over 400,000 engineers, mathematicians, scientists, and support people headed to the moon for the first ever moon landing. This group was responding to a challenge made only a few years earlier to send a man to the moon and return him safely by the end of the decade. They met this challenge with a very short time to spare, 6 months, cutting it close, I'd say. It took $25.4 billion, equal to $150 billion in 2019 dollars. They completed this task with a myriad of world and national social issues that plagued the 1960s. Crisis in Cuba, war in Vietnam, the height of the Cold War, civil rights, poverty, violence on college campuses and in the streets. It was an unbelievable accomplishment. So why can't we tackle a major issue with the same determination as our past generations? With our technology and with the great minds of today, why not? Is it because there are those who prosper from our problems today? Is it because we can't band together as a nation and a world because of our dislike of each other? Is it because we don't really have important issues? Well, that's not it. Is it because we are all consumed with our own lives that we can't take time to try and make the world better? My hope and prayer today is that we become determined as citizens of this planet to pick a challenge, pick a direction, pick a goal, and do our best to accomplish it. Think how much pride we would have with our success. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the County Clerk please call the roll?
Elizabeth Johnston. Here. Randall Martin.
Here.
Catherine Metzger.
Present.
Carla Robustelli. Susan Schaefer. Logan Smith.
Here.
James Solner.
Here.
Gerald Thompson.
Here.
Shana Wachinski. George Wendt. Lori Wolrab. Josh Barnett. Jacob Beard. Lindsay Bloomfield. William Casely. Sharon Chung. Chuck Erickson. George Gordon. John McIntyre.
Here. We have 19 members present, no one absent, and we do have a quorum. Item 5, appearances by members of the public and county employees. We have none today. So we'll move on to item 6, the consent agenda, which you have before you. What say you? Motion by member Metzger.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second by member Gordon. Comments or questions? Any discussion? If none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. We do have a transfer ordinance on page 21, which requires a 2/3 vote. Is there anyone who would want to have their vote registered as a no vote for the transfer ordinance? If not, then we'll consider the transfer ordinance passed unanimously. And we will move on. We have no approval for resolutions, congratulations, or commendations today. So we're moving right into the standing committee reports. Executive Committee Vice Chairman Solner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Executive Committee has several items today. First one is 7A1A, request approval of the chairman's recommendation on appointment to the County Board District Number 2 through the administration, and I so move.
Thank you. Is there a second? Maybe I should make the recommendation first, please. So if you'll turn it back over to me, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, take it away.
Thank you very much. We had 5 very good qualified candidates. I was able to spend time with them. We're doing a lot of reviewing and examination and so on. That's probably the most input I had from the public in different matters and forums during this time. At this time, I'd like to recommend the appointment for your approval of William J. Friedrich for the seat of District 2 McLean County Board. Is there a second? Is there a motion? I'm sorry, we should take a motion now. Motion by member Solner, second by Mrs. Johnston. Comments or questions? If none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Mr. Friedrich, you please approach the bench.
If you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, William John Friedrich,
Having been appointed to the office
having been appointed to the office
of McLean County Board Member District 2
McLean County Board Member District 2,
on July 16th, 2019,
July 16, 2019,
in the County of McLean
County of McLean,
and the State of Illinois,
State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of McLean County Board Member
of office of McLean County Board Member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Friedrich, you can please be seated in Mr. Murphy's chair. You have large shoes to fill.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman.
Welcome. Congratulations.
All right, next
Member
item.
Solner, you have the floor.
Next item is 7A1B, request approval of resolutions approving chairman's appointments to the standing committees, subcommittees, and the Liquor Control Commission of the McLean County Board, and they are distributing that right now. I so move.
There's a motion by member Solner. Is there a second? Second by member Casey. I'm going to give you a moment to look over the standing committees. I try to keep them as simple as possible, but one, especially a chairman of a committee, involves some moves and so on. Also, I talked to and added 2 new members to the legislative subcommittee. I wanted to get some more people involved here, and we will continue to go on that route. Is there anyone have any discussion? Questions? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Mr. Solner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next item is 7A1C, request approval of a resolution declaring that the unlawful distribution of prescription-controlled substances has created a public nuisance and a serious public health and safety crisis for the citizens of McLean County, and I move.
Motion by Vice Chairman Solner, second by Member Robustelli. Comments or questions? Any discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried.
Next item is 7A1D, request authorization for the chairman of McLean County Board to execute a contingent fee engagement agreement. I so move that.
Motion by Vice Chairman Solner. Is there a second? Second by Member Johnston. Comments or questions? If none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried.
Last item is 7A1E, request approval of an ordinance by the McLean County Board amending Chapter 66 of the McLean County Code to authorize the county administrator to amend non-discrimination policies in accordance with state and federal requirements. I so move.
Motion by Vice Chairman Solner, second by Member Gordon. Comments or questions? Okay, we had a little discussion at exec on this and changed a little bit of language, so everyone would be notified by our administrator, and it is pretty much a keeping up with the state and federal regulations. Any other comments? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Those are all we have for action items. There are numerous reports, and our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes. I would be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to the Property Committee report. Chairmember Barnett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Property Committee brings forward one action for the board this evening. It's on page 87 of the meeting packet. We bring forward item B1A, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2019 combined annual budget ordinance for JDC and facilities. Requires a 2/3 vote by the county board because it is a emergency appropriation ordinance. This is for a grant we received from the Illinois State Board of Education for improvements to the upgrades to cabinets and some kitchen equipment at the JDC.
Motion by Member Barnett, second by Member Thompson. Any other comments or questions? I looked at that price, and I want to tell you there's a large dishwasher involved with that as well, and they're all stainless steel. Any other comments? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? This is a 2/3 revote because it's an emergency appropriation. Is there any no votes to be recorded? If none, we'll consider it passing unanimously.
That is the only item the Property Committee has to bring before the board. Our minutes of our meeting can be found in the unapproved meeting minutes packet, excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We'll go on to item C, the report of the Justice Committee. Chairman Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Justice Committee brings 4 items for action to the board this evening. Item C1A, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2019 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the Children's Advocacy Center, pages 88 and 89 in our packets, and as noted, this requires a 2/3 vote, and I'll move that.
Motion by Chairman Gordon, second by Member Schaefer. Comments or questions? If none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. Are there any no votes for 2/3? Then we will consider this to be unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Item C1B, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2019 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the coroner. This also requires a 2/3 vote found on pages 90 and 91, and I'll move that.
Motion by Chairman Gordon, second by Member Metzger. Comments or questions? Any discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Are there any no votes to be recorded? Motion's carried.
Item C1C, request approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the State of Illinois, Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority for a victim assistance grant through the state's attorney's office found on pages 92 through 160. This does not require a 2/3 vote, and I'll move that.
Motion by Chairman Gordon, second by Member Casely. Comments or questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried.
Our last item is item C1D, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2019 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance, General Fund 0001, Court Services Department 0022, found on pages 161 through 163. This requires a 2/3 vote, and I'll move that, sir.
Motion by Chairman Gordon. Is there a second? Second by Member Johnston. Comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Are there any no votes to be recorded? Motion carries unanimously.
Our general report, sir, can be found in the unapproved minutes on pages 13 through 18, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to the report of the Finance Committee. Chairman Solder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance has 1 item for action and 1 item that has been pulled from the agenda. First item is D1A, request approval of an Illinois State Board of Elections voter registration state grant 2019 acceptance agreement and addendum. So move.
Motion by Vice Chairman Solder, second by Member Wolrab. Comments or questions? If none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
The item D1B, request approval of ordinance for prevailing wage public works wages from McLean County was pulled. We were informed that after as many years as I can remember of doing the state legislature and the governor decided we don't have to do this anymore. So anyhow, anything else, I'd be glad to answer any questions. Our general report is with the unimproved minutes.
Thank you. Thank you to the state legislature and the governor as well. Let's move on to the report of the Health Committee. Chair, Member Schaefer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has no items for action today, and our general report can be found on pages 4 through 7 of the unapproved minutes packet.
Thank you. We'll move on to the report of the Land Use and Development Committee. Chairman Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Land Use and Development Committee has no items to be presented for action, and our general report can be found on page 2 and 3 of the unapproved minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to the report of Transportation Committee. Chairman Casely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have no items for action, and our general report can be found on pages 8 through 12 of the unapproved minutes.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to the report of the County Administrator, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no items to present for action and no general report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll move on to other business and communications. I have one. You want to go ahead, sir, Member Solner?
Thank you very much. I failed. I meant to make a comment during my report in the Finance Committee. I wanted to applaud our county clerk who's been working with Illinois State University students and faculty on trying to find ways of fixing or helping our election in 2020. I know she's going to give us a bill for that work in a few months at the budget hearing or the budget system, but I just want to appreciate the fact she's doing the legwork and the work that it takes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Duly noted. We'll move on. I have one announcement. The McLean County Employee Picnic is a week from Thursday, July 25th, again out of Cumlar Park at 6 p.m. They'll start serving. You can come early, or you can come all day if you would like. They have a number of things you can do. We hope that the county board members will all come and show and have fun and show your appreciation to all of our county employees. There's a lot going on. There's bingo, there's fun, there's games. There's a bounce house for kids. There's a swimming area out there if you want to come out and take a boat ride or go kayaking in the afternoon, you can. There's balloon tosses, squirt guns, float tubes, volleyball, hula hoop, Rolf golf, whatever that is, Rolf golf. Prizes, a lot of prizes, and ice cream. We hope you all come. Thank you. I want to remind you again, if you will be and could, please sign up with Mrs. Morlock in the office. There is a form that you also have received that notice online. Please get that in for us so we'll know how many and come out and enjoy the evening. So I encourage you all to attend. Anybody else have anything? Well, this is not a record on time. If you're new here, thank you for all the tremendous amount of work and time that has been put into this meeting, especially thank you for the 3-hour marathon meeting we had at Executive, and we'll continue to move forward and appreciate all your efforts. Member Friedrich.
I just have 3 items. 1, thanks again for positioning me on this board. Number 2, just so you're aware of it, I have a twin brother, identical twin brother, so if you pass me on the street and I don't wave, that would be my twin brother Bob. So I'm not snobby. Bob just doesn't know you. So I also have an older brother, and we all kind of look the same. We all have the same kind of heads. So there's could be 3 of us, but definitely 2 of us out there.
So try to make a note. Don't hold anything against
That's
either
right.
of those brothers.
It worked well in the
happen.
younger years, yeah, but as we get older, it gets a little more challenging, and that's all I had.
All right.
So everybody's aware, there's 2 of us out there.
Thank you and welcome to our board. Any other comments or questions? If none, then this meeting is I'm sorry, I've got bills to pay. I do it again. After all that, yeah. I have bills to pay in the amount of $599,398.96. These have been reviewed and recommended for payment by our auditor. Is there a motion? Member Thompson, second by Member Kaisley. Any comments or questions? If none, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried, and now this meeting is adjourned.